leave meeting or got it. Oh, all right, I'll stay, I guess.
Everybody good?
Everybody
So
good?
we're all talking in new sort of places and vibes. Charlie's moved into a new yard and he's obviously on his phone, so he might be sounding a bit different. I've got new internet today, so I might be actually sounding clear today. And Rikesh and Fraser the same.
I'm just downstairs.
Mine's changed my accent.
Because I'm in a whole new place, mate.
Because I'm using my phone, I might come through a bit different. So I'm so sorry in advance.
Rikesh, when are you coming back from space, mate? It's been a while.
Yeah, Rikesh, you've been into space.
Never.
Too long.
Never. Stay up there.
This is a happy zone.
I like it.
Just stay.
I like the
Good,
moustache as
totally.
well. And last point, I've got tea with me, so you might be hearing a little bit of slurping. And I am presenting.
We're not good
Is
enough
this
to
the
edit that out.
introduction to the potty, by the way?
Yeah, absolutely. Filler.
Filler.
So, So this is something that I feel like we need to talk about. That I've been wanting to talk about for fucking ages, and I think
You
a lot
haven't
of this is
introduced
one-
us yet.
Introduce us, Sahan.
You haven't said,
Oh my god!
you haven't said
Hey
hello
guys,
to the
welcome
viewers.
back to another.
What a shamble of an introduction.
Start again.
All right, edit it. We'll edit it. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Red Jacks on. Today we're going to be talking about something I'm going to present, but we'll start with me, Sirhan.
Me, Charlie.
Me, Rick.
And me, Fraser.
Yeah, yeah,
There you
boy.
go. There you go.
Right, there we go. So, this is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a very, very long time, and I think it's been a long time coming. I just want to see Rikesh's reaction more than anything, his passion and his hate, and the antagonizing like vibe it's going to give him. And
Okay.
yeah, so we've spoken about Marvel, boys. It's time we talk about
Fuck
DC,
Oh, dear.
the
Oh,
DCEU. I'll be honest with you,
Great.
there's somehow always something more to talk about with something's, bless it, abysmal decline than something's rise. Because I've got 7 pages of stuff here. It's not like stuff to
Wow.
read, just info broken down.
My God.
So I just want to specify, I'm talking about the DCEU, the Detective Comics Extended Universe, meaning it shall not be touching the film Joker or the current Robert Pattinson Batman movies because they are not canon in the DCEU.
Oh, shame.
But this is what no, they're not. They're in their own continuity. They've called it something else. So these are the films. I'm going to give you the list, and I've got some stats and stuff, and we can talk about it as we go. Cool?
Cool.
Yeah.
Okie. So I'll take you back to Man of Steel of June of 2013. The budget of that film was 225 million. These are in US dollars. Worldwide, it made 668 million.
Cool.
And going with Rotten Tomato ratings, the critical review is about 56%, audience was about 75%.
Yeah, that's about fair.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll do a quick little rundown of these, and then I've got a little synopsis. And what I've done is, with each film's release, I've written what Marvel was doing at the same time to give us a comparison of where they were on each other's timelines.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. So next film to come out was 3 years later, which is somehow Batman v Superman, which Batman was introduced. Budget of 250 million, made 872 million. Critical review 29%, audience 63%.
What?
63.
Really? I thought it was much lower than that.
63%, yes.
Batman
I-
consistently cheated that.
No, but Batman v
Delusional.
Superman was one of those ones that when I went through it really did split audiences because it wasn't necessarily a good or bad film. It was like people were like, this is gold, this is genius, this is like Zack Snyder's best. And some people were like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Who said that? Who said the first one?
I don't know, man.
Thank you.
I
Who said
honestly
this?
don't know.
Are we going to talk about each of these films, or are we?
So
Just running
we don't
through
have
them
to
at
talk
the moment.
about. If you want, we can have a little reflection because some of these we watched in the cinema together, some of them we didn't. Do you want to just talk about it as we go?
Can
I think we
do.
should.
Because
Yeah.
I think Man of Steel deserves a little bit.
Okay. So
Yeah,
Man of
Steel.
Steel. Just to give a little, so I've written like 3 or 4 lines for each film. So this film reintroduces Spider-Man as newly of Henry Cavill to the modern audience.
Spider-Man, Henry Cavill.
Superman.
Superman.
What
You
did
said
I say?
Spider-Man.
You said
Did I say
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Reintroduces Superman. Do you know, right? Little random little tidbit that when they created Spider-Man, you know, he's got the dash between the words spider and man.
Oh yeah.
They only introduced that because they didn't want audiences to get it, like their eyes to read it as Superman. So they put the dash to kind of differentiate it from Superman, which was previously established. So yes, this film introduces Henry Cavill's take on Superman to modern audiences in 2013. It follows the origin story of Clark Kent, the last sin of Krypton, as he learns about his powers, struggles with his identity, and Clark must confront General Zod, a fellow Kryptonian seeking to reshape Earth into a new Krypton. What are we thinking? What do we remember?
I remember it being good. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. I
Yeah,
went
me
cinema
too,
with Rickish to watch it.
Yeah,
I don't
remember because
remember-
every time you left the cinema, every 5 seconds you jump on the floor and pretend you're about to
Yeah,
launch off the
I ran to the floor as soon as I left
Middle
cinema,
of
put my
the
fist on the
cinema,
floor. I looked up to the
packed
sky and I was
out
like,
foyer.
nothing happened.
And if it was just once, it'd be fine. But it was like a good 6 or 7 times on the way home after that point.
I was testing. I needed to know, if I could fly.
It's
You
your
have to
fault.
try.
He hates the DCEU now.
This is what made him hate
This
it.
is why.
I fucking hate this.
This is what
Sour
started
taste.
this.
I don't
Oracle-
remember going to the cinema to watch it. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But yeah, I liked it. It was like kind of like a new, more slightly grounded take on Superman.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think I found myself trying to compare it to Smallville a little bit. Because
Yeah.
we're kind of like off the back of that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was. We watched it in cinema. It was a good film in cinema. I don't like Superman. I think he's a bit of a cheap superhero. But that was a good film. I did genuinely walk away thinking that was actually a really good story. I like what they did with Superman, what they showed of Superman, and yeah, it was a good film. It was a good, really cool action scenes, like the bit where he's flying and the one where the camera is like following Superman. He punches Zod, but like it zooms back. That was a really good shot. Yeah, that was a good film. I liked it.
The only
The
thing I was
archetype-
That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
They
What
just
was it?
completely wrecked the city and
yeah.
just having a fight. There was just like two gods actually fighting in a city, and it destroyed
Yeah.
the city. Like that was that was the part where I was like, "This is so fucking cool." I remember really enjoying it. Yeah.
I was
A lot of
thinking
people had
like so
problems with
many
that.
people were dying in
Yeah.
that fight.
Yeah.
God was going to kill the world. You know what I mean? So I guess a few.
You know what? So many
critical.
people had an issue with Zack Snyder's take on that, and they were like, "He killed so many people," which obviously they follow up in Batman v Superman, and rightfully so. But even him killing Zod, people are like, he doesn't kill, but it's like Zack Snyder was like, "This is his first time being Superman. This is how we learned these lessons." He just didn't get up and be like, you know how they do in the animated films, are like, "Oh, I'm going to punch this villain to the moon or somewhere that's uninhabited so we can fight and break down mountains like anime style," So no, good film.
Yeah.
So these films I'm going to list with them are coming around like a month or two. These are the closest Marvel releases. So when Man of Steel first came out in June 2013, and I don't believe they really kind of established the DCEU. They might have had the idea. By that point, Marvel was on Iron Man 3, which released the month before.
Avengers
Yeah.
was done.
Yeah, Avengers and Age of Ultron came out that same year, I think, as well, didn't it? 13.
To my knowledge, I will let you guys check it out. But obviously, we know Marvel was well established before. So the next one we move on to, like I said, is Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, March 2016. So 3 years later, 250 mil budget, 872 mil worldwide, and as I said, critical response 29%, audience 63. And just as a little reflection, a little summary, the world reacts to Superman's presence, with some viewing him as a hero and others as a potential threat. Batman, who sees Superman as dangerous, takes it upon himself to confront the Man of Steel. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor manipulates events to pit the two iconic heroes against each other.
Rakesh's face, sorry. He's not enjoying
This film
as much as he enjoyed the film.
was so early on in their DCEU, and it broke me. It really, I think the first half an hour of this film is genius. It's spot on. Seeing Bruce Wayne see Superman's fight with Zod from his point of view and a human, and think, whoa, look at what you're doing. As for a fist fight, you're dangerous. I thought perfect setup.
Correction: the first 5 minutes of the film is
okay.
That. And then and then it's straight into the origin of Batman getting carried up by bats out of a cave, and that was the moment it all went downhill, really.
Yeah. I remember we did watch this in cinema because
we watched this together.
When all the dust was there and all the buildings had fallen down, a horse runs out.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Inside.
Yeah,
sorry, listeners, just an inside joke of Charlie and horses. And yes, it's exactly what you think it is. Middle name, Jockey. But Rikesh, you've been fairly quiet.
Oh mate, fuck this film. Fuck this film, dude. Honestly, how do you fuck this up? Batman versus Superman. How do you fuck that up? Why was Batman using guns? Fully just shooting. What was it? Start to finish, man. I think there must have been. How long was the film? 2 hours, 2.5 hours?
Yeah,
like 2.5, 3 hours. It was a long
I
film.
never fall asleep in the cinema. Never in my life do I fall asleep in the cinema. I fell asleep 3 or 4 times in this movie. It was just
I remember.
It was so longed out. It was shit. Awful.
It was
fucking awful.
I think because I remember this film being the introduction of Wonder Woman as well. They touched on Aquaman and Cyborg.
Very briefly, Wonder Woman was in it. Yeah.
Very briefly, but I mean, in an email attachment where she opens it and it's like the Avengers, the Justice League Initiative sort of thing. The only thing I remember of this film is the beginning. I enjoyed the Batman fighting scene in the warehouse to save the mum I love.
Best scene.
The whole Martha thing still to this day confuses me. I'm like, I understand what you're trying to do. Oh, we both got a human mum, but it was the most editorially like choppy movie ever. I'm like, there's like 2.5 good films in this, but just pick one and stick to it and know when to end. This film was one of the few I was like, oh, it's gonna wrap up. And this ending, nope, there's another scene. And this ending, nope, there's another scene. I'm like, that's 3 or 4 times it caught.
Might as well have been asleep, but because I don't remember like the middle of the film because it was jumping around so much.
Yes.
It's just super confusing. So you got the beginning where you see Batman's like origin of his hatred and his origin, and then a whole load of junk, and then they're at a warehouse fighting Doomsday.
Yeah.
It wasn't really Doomsday. It was a weird Zod reanimated, and I'm like, nah. This film really genuinely, I was like, this is. I've never been black and white with a film, but I thought this is really shit. It's messy, man. No, but it was so messy. I'm like, I can see a glimpse of it, but it was the most messiest thing. When people were like, this is gold, I was like, what are you seeing?
Honestly, I'm amazed that it's 63%. Honestly.
No, I didn't think any of that. We left the cinema not even disappointed. We were pissed off. I remember being like, what? The time we've wasted. We could have spent doing something else.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you remember the Batman dream scene?
Yeah. Fucking dream. What with the flash coming through? And it was like, what the hell is going on? This is too much in the first 20 minutes of the film. But the thing is, like, all paths led to that Martha scene. Like, it's called a MacGuffin when you need something at the end to save the day. Mm-hmm. And like, so obviously whenever you're watching a film, I've always got in the back of my head, I wonder how they're going to fix it. I wonder how they're going to come together, or whatever the problem is, they've got to solve it. And the MacGuffin was a fucking name. It was so embarrassing. Like, as any kind of story writer in this day and age, that is so embarrassing to go, okay, so what is it that actually settles their beef? Well, Martha. Okay, we're going to greenlight this. Who the fuck? Who said that was a good idea?
When you listen to the background of this and the development, it was really poorly handled, but what's upsetting is on purpose. Because I love DC outright. Like, Batman was my first favorite hero. And I think doing this research, I stick to Charlie. Shut up, you. I stick to Charlie's thing of DC. I think what they do best is their animated movies. Like, I would happily do a list of animated movies. and they're deep, man. They're serious. They're dark. They're very well written and animated beautifully. But they don't always translate. And a lot of the higher ups for Batman v Superman were like, a lot of the studio heads, apparently, from what I heard and research, was more like, just release it because the name will sell. Even if the script isn't that great, don't worry, because we can rewrite the subtitles for the countries that are going to make us the most money, mostly in Asia and China. So they really didn't go with the impact of long run money. It was more like, let's just make a big splash, and whatever happens to them as characters, actors, the names, we don't care.
The fans.
And that was the saddest part for me, man. They didn't have faith in their own project.
Yeah.
That's
how Marvel, like, this is the thing, Marvel took a really big gamble with Iron Man. And, you know, they from day one, they were like, the plan is, you know, in like 3 or 4 years, we can get them all together. And they worked hard to like get you to that point where it's like, oh my God, yeah, they're all in the same film. But when you just go, oh, yeah, Man of Steel was really good. Do you hear what the next one is? Batman vs Superman. We haven't met Batman yet, though. No, but we're going to put them in the same film. And you're basically just going to have Wonder Woman in it. Oh, no way. And Doomsday. Oh, no way. And Lex Luthor. Oh, no way. How many fucking things are you going to cram in a 3-hour piece of shit?
Do you know what it is? They tried to play the catch-up game. And I think when I tell you the Marvel film that was coming out at the same time, you're going to understand. Because they done Batman. No, it was Batman v Superman, and they tried to play into which side are you taking?
Civil
because
War.
At the same time, the same year, Marvel released Captain America: Civil War, and they tried to capitalize on the left or the right, the red or the blue, the black or the red and blue. Like, and I'm like,
was Batman vs Superman first before Civil War, or Civil War first? That released.
Batman v Superman came out first. So March 2016 was Batman v Superman. May 2016 was Civil War.
Right.
That's hilarious.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
So Civil War was what they tried to do and spectacularly failed. And Marvel was like, "This is how it's supposed to be done."
Yeah.
Just
they would have started filming.
That's it.
At some point
I
earlier.
bet you
they started to upload it, and they were like, "Oh, I really hope BVS isn't very good." And then they watched it, like, let's just upload it. This is hilarious.
So early on in their history, I think it really does go to show that their goal versus the aspiration, if that makes sense, the dream was bigger. Their goal was to make money with their IP rather than make their IPs.
Absolutely.
And they always wanted to go for the billion mark. That was their initial, and that's a lot of things I keep hearing in a lot of podcasts when they talk about Marvel and DC. Is Marvel was never aiming to make billions from their first couple of movies. It was just making a profit to get to the next one, and then it built up to the billion, half a billion, couple of bill. Whereas they're like, Batman v Superman, we need to hit 1 billion, and as soon as it doesn't, the studio lets it go, and they're like, nah, no faith, no money, didn't hit the targets. It's like, well, yeah, bro. Like, as Charlie said, you're introducing 6 different characters. How am I going to root for a character I haven't met yet? Unless you do it, you write that film to pristine, direct it pristinely. That's a very hard quota to hit rather than easing us into a character.
And then Superman dies and Batman cries.
What the fuck, man?
God, I forgot about that.
Honest to God.
That happened. I might have been asleep at that point, to be honest.
You honestly did fall asleep a good fair few times, mate.
There was a couple of moments that were actually cool. There were a couple of moments. Like
because
the
they pulled them from the
of
comics.
Superman being a god and people worshipping him. I love that. I love the beginning sequence, as you said, like with the rubble and the destruction from Man of Steel. I thought that was a great way to start it. You had all these like little shit bits in between that was like, you know, you just swallowed them and thought, okay, hopefully it just, you know, makes up for that. And then there'll be a scene that's like, oh, that was kind of good. And then it's a little shit thing to pull it back down again. And
even the direction of, and I don't blame him, I'm sure it was written, like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor was like, what the fuck are you on? Gods and demons and shit. And I was like, bro, just shave your hair and act like what we know. And then they were like, no, Lex Luthor's the original Lex Luthor's his dad. And I'm like, no, don't play this bullshit with me. What are you doing?
Terrible.
You're playing the Joker but as a Lex. No, it wasn't him. I don't believe it was. I think he done the job well that he was hired to do. It was like, be more zany, be more like memorable as a villain. I'm like, you're not even being smart. You didn't manipulate anyone. Batman had a fucking dream about him to take him down. You didn't You didn't create that fire. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, the bit where he goes and steals the hard drive in the mansion as well, and then Wonder Woman walks in and catches him, but then doesn't do anything and then walks away. And it was like, what was the point in that scene? There were so many scenes like that. Yeah, sorry, let's move on.
That was for just.
We don't
that
want
was
to just
for
shit all over DC. There are big DC fans, so let's not just.
No. This is our personal. Listen, I love DC. I'm not saying this as a hater. I'm saying this as a person that had hope and is disappointed. That is what I'm more upset about.
Shit on it.
I am.
That's why there's 4 of us, Rikesh. You could be the hater.
I am shitting on it. This film.
Right, listen. This is still the second film out of like 10. Let's keep going because it's going to take us a while. But yeah, this was a big staple.
We'll just say shit or not shit. We'll get through it quick.
All right.
There is one thing I want to know. I would love to know who was behind the Batman action scene in the warehouse, because that was actually like quality.
Like the choreography of it, I have no clue. But the fight scene was seeing him use the sort of Arkham game sort of style gadgets, disabling the guns and all that. I loved that. I was like, yeah, this is Batman. Yeah. A bit more killy than I anticipated. A bit more murdery. Kicking someone through a wall, and I'm like, okay, cool. But no, I didn't mind him killing people. I didn't mind him doing the branding and stuff. That didn't bug me at all. I think it's just.
I mean, look, if he's gonna kill people, kill people, but don't call yourself Batman. Then you're not Batman. Call yourself whatever you want. You're not Batman.
Yeah, if Batman can kill, it kind of defeats all his villains.
Do you know what? Someone made the idea, the pitch, and again, that I really enjoyed. You know when he has the dream sequence where I think like the minions of Darkseid have come back, Superman's become evil in his dream, takes off his mask, and he kind of and you see Batman shooting all these people. They were like, what if they'd done it where Batman was always on the edge of killing someone? Like he's really trying to control that rage or that anger, and he's trying to brand people and capture them. And in the dream, he sees what's happened with Superman and Darkseid, and he sees himself killing people or even killing the bad guys. And that's what wakes him up like, oh shit, if things carry on, I'm going to give into my dark side. Yeah. And I think that fight of that internal world would have kind of,
because he had no character development,
personal vendetta a bit more of like, because it's what happened to his mum and dad. He doesn't want to do it to someone else, but he's going to be pushed in that direction. Anyway,
Anyway,
right. Next film. So, next film, August 2016, Suicide Squad. 175 mil budget, made 747 worldwide. Critical response was 26%. Audience was 58%. So
this
is not
Suicide Squad with which was Jared Leto Joker.
Yes. Yeah. So this is not the recent one. So this is Suicide Squad, and it is a secret government agency recruits a team of imprisoned supervillains, including Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and others, because the others were big names, to execute dangerous missions in exchange for reduced sentences. Task Force X, known as the Suicide Squad, is sent to stop a powerful ancient witch known as Enchantress.
Who was a model who can't act. Like, what's her name? Cara Delevingne. I like her. She seems cool. She did that well. Yeah. She seems cool, but I mean, you don't put her in a big budget film. Like the villain, like in any superhero film, the villain is like the keyest character in it. Mm-hmm. Like that's what makes the whole film. Like Thanos is like the reason that everything works. Yeah, exactly. And it was just a terrible choice again from DC. We're just going to shit all over DC.
I think they went more with let's concentrate more on the acting star power of our main leads than the villain to make it interesting. Like, this is what our heroes can do. Yeah. And it always ends in the typical beam of light into the sky, clouds, and loads of CGI, and just being like, look, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the film. I enjoyed this more than Batman v Superman, hands down.
Yeah.
It made more sense, but
I did enjoy it. Tolerated it more.
Tolerated a bit more.
It didn't take itself too seriously, I think that's why. Well, it was full of more wacky characters, so it came off.
Yeah.
And
what did you guys think of? But I mean, what did you guys think of Joker in this then? Because this was his, he's a big character, there's a big IP. What did you think of his introduction in this?
Sure.
He was a shit Joker. He was fucking awful. Why did he have grills? Well, why did he have grills? At what point does Joker have grills? Please show me the episode of the comic where
he
Joker
was meant to be
grills.
the different version of Joker. He's meant to be the gangster version because there is a mobster gangster vibe.
I get that. But the choice DC had made, the film, the executives, whoever it was, to be like, let's make Joker some ghetto gangster with grills, was fucking stupid. It didn't play out on screen at all. I mean, you can blame the writers for it. I don't think it was as much Jared Leto as Joker. If anything, it was more of the writing and the direction they chose for him. But definitely, that was not Joker. In every instance of Joker you've ever seen, whether it's in movies or animated or whatever, he was not Joker. He was just another crazy character in Joker makeup. That was it. He was not Joker.
Fair. So at this around the same time, obviously Marvel was releasing at the end of the 2016 was Doctor Strange.
Okay.
That was a shit year.
It was pretty mediocre.
I enjoyed Doctor Strange. Yeah. Doctor Strange was a phase 1 film released in like phase 3. It's disjointed, but it needed it to happen. Yeah, that's what I would say. There is a bit more that I will touch upon with Suicide Squad as we move forward.
Okay.
So next film is Wonder Woman, which came out 2017, the year after. 150 mil budget, made 822 mil worldwide. Critical response 93%, audience response 83%. Okay, and as a little synopsis, Wonder Woman, set during World War I. This film explores the origin story of Diana, an Amazon princess and warrior. When she encounters Steve Trevor, an American pilot, Diana leaves her home to help end the war. She embraces her destiny as Wonder Woman and confronts the god of war, Ares, which I think is also her dad. I think.
Maybe.
I don't think.
I think.
No, I don't think that's right.
Anyway, God of War Ares. So, where did you guys watch it, and what did you think?
I don't remember it. I think I kind of remember that end fight scene. I don't think much happened in it, though. Did it?
No, not really.
No, there was a plane flying away with her boyfriend in it, or something like that, and they were on the runway.
Yeah, and he goes and he kind of kills himself to save the bombs being exploded. A bit of a Cap America sort of moment.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Wonder Woman. I remember it was one of those moments at that stage of DC where I was like, right, I've lost a bit of hope. I'm not going to go cinema. I'll watch it at home. And I did. And I was fine to watch it at home in my own comfort. I think we did convince Rikesh to watch it because it was one of the few films I was like, oh, this makes sense for a DC film. Rick, try this.
Yeah, I had lost faith after Suicide Squad, and then I was not gonna watch Wonder Woman, and you guys were all like, "You watch it; it's a really good film. You'll enjoy it." I think I waited for it to come on Netflix. I watched it on Netflix, and that was it. I think I'd written off all DC movies from that point forward.
Agreed. Yeah, same as Rick.
What? I know we've got like 2 minutes left, but just as a quickly reflect, what put you guys off this particular film?
We've got the comparison of Marvel, right?
Yeah, and I will tell you what they released.
It was trying, and a lot of people come up to me and said, like, no, do you know what? Wonder Woman was actually really, really good. It's really, really good. And I watched it, same as Rick. I watched it. I think I actually went to the cinema to watch it, to be honest. And yeah, it was just like, it's just not as good as Marvel. Unfortunately, I can't help but compare it. You know what I mean? It's a superhero thing. You know, like if I watch anything superhero, you kind of compare it. But yeah, no, it just didn't hit, man. Didn't hit for me anyway.
Okay.
Same. It was just kind of a flop after a flop after a flop, and it was just like, I'm done.
I think Wonder Woman was the most consistent. I mean, I think I understand what it represented at the time. You know, it was directed by a female director, and there was a lot of women's sort of strength and representation, and I appreciated that side of it. I think as just a comic book viewer, even I could recognize this was the strongest of the DC so far, and I enjoyed it for that reason, but still weak compared to the parameters of what Marvel was doing. And to give a bit of an understanding, so May 2017, Guardians Volume 2 came out. Then June, Wonder Woman came out, and then July, so sandwiched in between, so July, Spider-Man Homecoming came out.
They had no chance.
Literally, that's a very poor time for that film to get released.
Yeah,
It was a really bad.
Marvel.
Look how consistent Marvel was being. 2 films within like 3 months of each other. That's quite a lot. And then Wonder Woman just sandwiched in between.
Just get drowned.
But
it sounded like it made a fair amount of money.
It did make good money and good reception, but we've got 5 seconds left.
Oh shit!
So
Ad breaks.
This fall, your favorite superheroes, Cat-Lad and Fireboy, face their greatest challenge yet, each other.
Flyboy, you flew so fast you caused tornadoes that killed thousands. I've got to take you down.
I had to save the First Lady from my evil twin brother, but I'll fight you, Cat-Lad, just because.
But when they find common ground, a new alliance is formed.
This is for you, Timmy.
Wait a minute. My son's name is Timmy too.
We shouldn't be fighting. We should team up.
The aliens are coming. We have to protect Earth.
And so our heroes band together to form the Court of Justice to fight the alien menace.
We've been fighting for hours, and this is going nowhere. Wait, who are you?
I'm Robo Bob. We just formed the Court of Justice, remember?
What the hell?
The crab is right. We need to focus on getting the Chaos Cubes if we're going to beat them.
The chaos. What?
And so our heroes set out to obtain the Chaos Cubes, the only way to defeat the aliens.
What the? So, how do these help us?
They will open a multiversal portal and trap the aliens there forever.
Really?
Yep, do it, crab.
And so our heroes defeat the aliens with the Chaos Cubes, but are poured into the portal with them, forcing them to...
And to hell with all this.
Hey, what are you doing? You're not supposed to... Wait!
Where are we?
Oh wow. I can't believe it. It's the real Cat-Lad and Flyboy. I'm Snack Zyder. I created this film that is based on your iconic comic book run.
Get him.
Wait, no! Ah! Ooh! I did not like that. Ouch! Ah! Stop it, please!
So, watch Cat-Lad and Flyboy. Birth of Justice. Multiverse of the Mundane. Director's recut. In cinemas everywhere. What now? You released it just now? I'm still recording the trailer. How could you release... Damn it, Jerry! I've had enough of this. I am an artist and I am done with this franchise.
Welcome back, guys. Ladies and gentlemen.
That ad was shit.
That was a shit ad.
That was so shit.
Fucking DC.
Are we just going to be
Awful
really
ads.
negative about everything?
Even their ads are shit.
Hey guys, welcome to. Okay, so we move on, and for me, this is where I broke off. I was like, okay, I'm done now. Like I've scattered to watch the other ones, but this one just ended it for me. And this is 2017's original release, Justice League. Budget was 300 mil. It made 657 mil worldwide. Critical response 39%, audience 67%. So
Not good.
Justice League. Batman and Wonder Woman assemble a team of metahumans, including the Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg, to protect the world from the threat of Steppenwolf and his army of parademons. The team must work together to find and unite the 3 powerful mother boxes to save humanity. Thoughts?
Even that synopsis has too much going on.
Yeah, I couldn't even yeah, too much.
He just done it again, but Zack Snyder can't help himself. I think I think that original release especially suffered because it obviously wasn't the director's cut, which actually I thought was a lot better. But
I
original
have
release,
that listed as well, but the original release was, just to kind of give a little background to it. So obviously it was initially directed by Zack Snyder, but it was completed by Joss Whedon. And a lot of people were really kind of against Zack Snyder at the time and really angry with him. But the guy, to my knowledge, had lost his daughter. I'm like, that validates you leaving and doing whatever the hell you need to do.
Yeah,
but that Zack Snyder, whoever chose Joss Whedon, I get what he did for Marvel and the Avengers, but I'm like, that comparison, it was too contrasting. Like I remember they're kind of making a joke at one point where Superman punches Batman or something, and then it cuts to Batman on the floor. And he's like, "Oh yeah, do you bleed? Yeah, I'm bleeding." And I'm like, "No, Batman doesn't joke. No, stop that. No. Yeah. Like that little tiny moment, I was like, you've crossed the line with me, bro." This to me was more of a mess than Batman v Superman. I think it was in a better order editorially, but just too much for my brain, man. I did not enjoy this film.
I had moments. I enjoyed a couple of bits. The end bit where they resurrect Superman after he's been dead for one film, and they bring him back, and I like that fight because there's that really awesome moment. This is the thing with superhero films. It's moments, isn't it? You remember the moments, and as long as the story
nerdy
around
moments.
It works. And it's the bit with the Flash, and the Flash is running, and his eyes just like flick, like he's keeping up with him. That was fucking awesome. I love that moment so much. The rest of the film is fucking garbage. It's rubbish.
I would say the exact same thing. What you just said. That's the moment that I would pick out, and then everything else is throwaway.
Yeah,
I've not seen this film. But like, for you to both say that the one great part of this film was when Flash was running around and Superman just dyed his eyes to keep up with him, if that's the highlight of the movie, that tells me everything I need to know to fucking bin this movie. It's done. I don't need to watch a movie to see that 2 frames of the
YouTube it.
And if I'm not mistaken, this was the controversy when Henry Cavill was also filming Mission Impossible, and the whole stash and the lip. So so he finished wrapped on Justice League, went to go film Mission Impossible. That studio wanted him to grow a mustache. Cool. They wanted to do some reshoots, obviously to reframe it with Joss Whedon, and they called the other studio and went, "Can we borrow Henry Cavill back as Superman?" Yeah, sure. Can he shave his mustache off? No way. And this created a massive controversy of like even the Justice League studio, I think it was Warner Brothers, kind of saying, "We will CGI the mustache back. We will give it back to you." And it took months, like, of their lawyers to figure out. And then Mission Impossible was like, "No, you can have him, but you need to CGI his
mustache
out." And it looked like Superman had Botox. It looked
so
weird.
funny.
He had too much lip and then no lip sometimes. But I mean, from the very first scene, it shows a kid's cell phone mobile recording of Superman, like, "Wow, you saved him." And he just turns to the camera, is like, "Whoa."
Yeah, it looks like he's got a Snapchat filter on. And isn't that crazy when you think this is a massive budget superhero film where they're flying and, running really fast and doing all this mad shit. Wow, look at this CG, but they can't get a moustache off a lip. It was so weird. It's crazy.
Wow.
Okay. Oh, shit.
Are we going to touch on the director's cut separately as a separate release?
Yes.
We're going to come up to it. Yeah, I've got nothing else to say on this one.
Yeah. Because I've got nothing more to say because it kind of it ticks its own boxes. So just to let you know, so November 2017, Justice League come out, the original cut, and at the same month of the same year, Thor Ragnarok came out.
That's good.
Yeah.
Rip.
That's a hard month to be released in. Hard. Ragnarok slapped, man. Ragnarok was awesome. Okay. Next film to come out is a year later exactly of Aquaman. 205 mil budget. It made 1.15 billion. Critical response 65%, audience 72%. Aquaman.
Wait, run that back.
Yeah.
All right, but what was it? The budget and the profit.
Yeah.
Budget was 205 mil. The worldwide box office was 1.15 billion.
Jesus Christ!
It made little over a billion. Yeah.
5 times it.
Right.
That was that must have been Jason Momoa.
It has to be. Jason Momoa was fucking amazing.
He pulled an audience's heart. So, as a synopsis, Aquaman, Arthur Curry, the half-human, half-Atlantean heir to the underwater kingdom of Atlantis, reluctantly becomes the hero known as Aquaman. He embarks on a journey to claim his birthright, confront his half-brother Orm, and prevent a war between Atlantis and the surface world. I like this film. I don't think it's worth $1 billion in profits.
No way.
I
No
didn't
way.
watch it.
No, that's just
It's
Jason
okay.
Momoa. That's all that is. That's all that is. All that money is just people wanting to see Jason Momoa for sure.
Yeah. DC
I think
fans
that-
and women who are horny.
Yeah,
Basically.
but they do say that for any film to break the into the billions, and they were talking about Marvel and a bit of DC and this sort of superheroes, you need everyone on board. You need everyone. You can't just have the fans or that generation. You need the older generation, the current generation, the younger generation. You need fans and non-fans alike to come together to make it a big deal. So for you guys to, paraphrasing, to say, fans, nerds, and horny women, it needs to pull from every niche a certain percentage to hit that, and it must have. There's not enough Aquaman fans to do that.
Yeah,
I don't get it. That's actually how much did have you got Endgame figure by any chance there? Do we remember it? Because I know it broke the billion.
No,
but like that's something that was
billions.
so
I don't have that.
for. I feel like Aquaman. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't a bad film, but yeah, definitely. Like I'd have said, like 500 mil tops, absolute tops. What did Endgame get, Rick?
Fucking hell. Marvel's Endgame 2019 was Marvel's highest grossing movie with 2.8 billion
Good. Okay.
in
Good.
global revenue.
Yeah.
So
fucking Jesus.
Just to reflect on Marvel of that year. So this is not the closest release, but this was kind of what the hype was around. So Aquaman came out December of 2018, so the end year. Marvel Avengers Infinity War came out April 2018. So this was around the time where we were coming off of Infinity War from like a third in or quarter into the year, but we were hyping up, we were ramping up for Endgame, what it might mean, and we was in that phase of Marvel for us.
We were in our sad stage, waiting to see what happened to everyone from Endgame.
And everyone was so sad. They went, Aquaman, okay. Yeah,
we know he's okay.
He's okay. He's not part of the universe. So the next one is Shazam!
Yeah.
Anyone, please. Add in the electricity, lightning. So this was US budget of 100 mil, and it made 368 mil. Critical response is 90%. Audience was 82%. It didn't make as much profit as I thought. So Shazam,
way better than that.
Because at this point in time, I think most people were done with DC movies. They had to.
I think they were done a long time before.
Exactly. But Shazam, I didn't watch it in cinema, but I watched it on Netflix. But that was actually not a bad film. I didn't mind Shazam.
That was
kind of childish, but it fit. It fit a childish
but it done
kind of theme.
exactly what it was intending to do. It's a light-hearted, silly, feel-good film, and it did that. And I was like, well done. The villain wasn't as sharp as this. I had no issue with it. I was like, you've done it at least what you set out to do. Yeah. And I think if they would have made a Shazam-style film from the beginning and just sort of like what Iron Man did, of let's just try and do what we're trying to do. Don't overreach. Don't try and compare. I think if they would have started from something like Shazam, they would have done better. They would have grown more naturally.
Yeah, that would have been really dope, actually, seeing it from a kid's point of view of like, I need to get other heroes. Who else is out there? Like, should I actually go to Batman? That being, and the kids, having that kind of that would so much more interesting. You just came up with that by accident.
Thank you. TM copyrighted. So, as a little synopsis, Shazam is about Billy Batson, a young foster child, gains the ability to transform into the adult superhero Shazam by saying the magic word. While discovering his power, Shazam. Billy must face the threat posed by Dr. Thaddeus Sivana, who seeks to harness the same powers for his own sinister purposes. He was originally called in the comics Captain Marvel, but it contrasted, obviously, Captain Marvel in Marvel itself. Shazam was the magic word. The acronym stands for all the sort of amazing people throughout history in the world. But then in the comics, they changed superhero name to Shazam. And I like this film. I mean, the young foster kids, I mean, the adult and the young child actor and the adult actor done well. His supporting like cast done well. The kid's journey of meeting his mum and his mum not caring about him. Like, I felt that shit. I was like, yeah, you know, and his enjoyment of being a superhero was like, that makes sense. Punching through walls and learning to fly and smacking back onto the floor. It done itself just. Even them going to buy beer was hilarious.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the most you're gonna compare Shazam to, I guess, is probably Superman. I think you can't.
Yeah.
It's not even comparable to Marvel because there's not many like kids superheroes who sort of get their powers and then grow up like that, I guess, and have those kinds of powers. So,
like Miss Marvel, but that was a show, obviously. But I'd
that
say
was
it
a
kind of
show.
vibes,
Yes,
it vibes a bit like Ant-Man. Like it never takes itself too seriously. Even the villains end up on the same vibe as Paul Rudd. You know what I mean? Like, and it was very similar in Shazam. Like they ended up getting it. You know what I mean? Like even the villains were kind of comical and stuff, and it works because that's, you know, then as you said, all audiences, kids can go and see it and actually get it. Any kid that went to see Batman vs Superman would have sat there in the first hour like, Mom, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, and I like Shazam as a character. I used to like playing with him in the DC sort of fighting games. But I like Shazam because even in the comics, they made Superman, one of Superman's weaknesses is magic, and he can perform magic. So if he's physically as capable as Superman and he can punch him, if he uses his magic against him, it creates more of an adversary of like, this is cool. I enjoyed this contrast of characters, and obviously they did the I don't know, like guest appearance of Superman, but it was it was a body double. It wasn't Henry Cavill. It was from the neck
was
down.
It not?
Because
I didn't actually know that.
No, it was from the neck down. It was a post-credit scene because Henry Cavill's contract as Superman was a bit in hiatus. Same with Batman and who played
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, which I did enjoy. I did enjoy his Batman and his Bruce Wayne. I actually didn't mind it. I think he was in the wrong film, but
Can we insert that meme somewhere? The sad Affleck.
Sad Affleck. I think the guy's had enough heat, man. Let him go, man. Leave him alone.
That's so funny, though. So funny and sad.
But just as a little highlight, and I think this is where they could have done a better choice. So Shazam released April 2019, the same month of the same year.
Oh yeah.
Endgame released.
That makes sense now.
Come on, DC, man. Just fucking Google some.
They should have swapped Aquaman and Shazam around.
Yeah. Or they should have just gone, oh, they're releasing Endgame in April. All right, I'll tell you what. Hold on to that full file you've got of Shazam. I know it's ready to go. Let's just wait till the end of the year. Or, you know, let's just wait until that buzzer's died. You do not drop it when you know that's going to happen, unless Marvel knew they were going to drop Shazam and they were like...
That's a very good point.
I think the guy who releases the DC films just has an itchy finger. Before anybody says anything like that, his finger's already on the button. He's like, oh, well, if I lift my finger, it's going to release.
It's like a grenade.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just really excited about Endgame. It was like, that's April 2019. Oh, no. Okay. So we jump on, and I've not seen this film, so this is pure stats. Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. It came out February 2020.
Is that
it was 100? Yeah. Birds of Prey and in caps, Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
I had no idea.
Based off the comic of the same name. Budget is 100 mil. It made 205 mil. Critic response was 79%, audience was 78%. Now keep in mind, when I talk about the budget and the box office, there's a couple of factors. One, not every studio releases accurate numbers about what their budget is because they don't want to talk about how much they lost. And two, the general consensus is, when I listen to other podcasts talk about movies, is whatever the budget is, you double it, because if the budget is to make the film, you double the budget because that's how much it usually takes to advertise their film, because that costs money in of itself. So they need to make more than double to break bank. and this did not.
Yeah.
So just as a little synopsis is, after breaking up with the Joker, Harley Quinn teams up with a group of female anti-heroes, including Black Canary, Huntress, and Renee Montoya. Together, they must protect a young girl named Cassandra Cain from the villainous Black Mask. I didn't watch it. I didn't
watch it either. Did any of you guys?
I have no interest to watch this. No, not at all.
I did watch it. I did watch it, and it was
good. Someone did.
Okay, it was okay. I tell you what it was. Do you remember in Endgame or in Infinity War? It's one of the two. When they had that the women, actually they had it in both, to be honest. One in Wakanda and one in the final battle. But where they have that random scene where all the women just come together, and it's
the big one was Endgame. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like women power, and you sit there as a fan, and you're like, okay. It's cool. I mean, it doesn't actually make sense because everyone was everywhere else, but whatever. Yeah. Cool. You have this moment that it felt like a whole movie made out of that, like that idea. I think it was in that time where women power was really hitting hard, and it was all like, everyone wanted to make their main villain a woman and stuff like that, because it was like, women can do everything as well, and they can do it better, and they can, they really can, but you don't force feed people that, and that was the problem. Everything was about women in that film, and so as a man sitting there watching it, I was kind of like, it's just for women. This is just for women, and I don't think many women went to see it, so that's probably why I didn't.
Was Black Mask any good? Who played him? I don't.
Ewan McGregor.
I
love him. I like him as an actor.
Yeah.
Good actor. OG Obi-Wan.
Was he the villain
honestly
in this film?
Yeah, he was Black Mask.
And he was okay. Like, again, it was all okay. And like, look, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, I'm glad she kept coming back because she was actually perfect cast. Yeah. Just unfortunate with the films that they were producing. And yeah, same as Birds of Prey, really. It was better than Suicide Squad 1. Probably about the same as Suicide Squad, the second version.
Yeah. So just as a little Marvel comparison, there wasn't quite anything majorly released around that time. Obviously, this is a film, Birds of Prey being in 2020 was kind of at the back end. There's a lot of films where with the lockdown and COVID, limited screenings, it made a difference. It naturally did, and even in its production. So for this Marvel stage, this was where the Black Widow movie was kind of getting released in some weird grey area, but also we were set up for WandaVision, which was whatever the show is, it is, but it was the first Marvel TV show. There was a big hype around this idea of, okay, it's moving, like the medium is moving to TV at home. What's it like? Is it going to work? Is it going to be good or bad? And I think that hype alongside the lockdown did not help Birds of Prey at all.
No, never does.
Yeah.
No, a lot of films around that time took a hit, and it's understandable. Charlie?
I'm still here. Sorry, I'm just plugging my phone in. It's dying.
Charlie, where are you? I can't see you. I don't
mentioned
like
Margot
it.
Robbie, but he went off to the corner to rob one out.
Oh, of course.
Oh God.
Oh, sorry, boys. Yeah, I'm finished.
Charlie, are you wearing a Harley Quinn outfit? Oh, he's cutting out.
Oh, he's cut. It's Charlie's internet this week.
It's not my internet.
Wow.
Okay, in all fairness, Charlie hasn't got internet yet. Oh, he's smiling. He's so cute.
He's got an extra floor in his house. It's gonna stretch.
Oh, he's fully just frozen.
It's because he plugged his phone in.
Hold on, I'm taking the screenshot.
Took up the entire electrics for the whole house.
I got the screenshot.
He looks a bit like Chris Pratt.
He's so cute. I guess we're going to edit this part out.
Nah, leave it in.
Leave the whole thing in.
Shall I move on?
Hold on a sec. Let me.
Yeah,
he's going to
let him come back.
Go and come back.
We spoke about Harley Quinn too much. He's like, I can't help it. I cannot do it. It's like bending. Rikesh, what is your you know that song? Your song that you always used to listen to. I can't go for that.
Oh, Hall and Oates.
Yes, that popped up on the radio the other day, man. I really thought of you. I was trying to record it, but I was driving. And I was like,
tune, bro. Tune.
I immediately turned it up. I was like, Tanya, you have no idea what this means to me.
Swerving all over the road.
All the notes, mate. All the notes. Where is Barrel? Can you pause the recording? Or
I actually can, actually.
Yeah, that's fine. That's all it matters. Oh, sorry. So, yeah. Where did we stop?
It's okay. We paused it after you left because you were wasting so much of everyone's time.
We were talking about Birds of Prey.
Right, so we finished Birds of Prey. We spoke about WandaVision coming out afterwards. So the next film to come out, and again, have an effect through the lockdown, is Wonder Woman 1984. Came out end of the year of 2020. 200 mil budget. It made 169 mil. Critical response is 58%. Audience is 73%. So, Wonder Woman 1984. This is the sequel. Set in 1984, if it wasn't obvious.
And can you quickly just explain the critical and thingy percentage?
Yes, absolutely. What it is, or
what it is, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So critical response. So this is from Rotten Tomatoes. So they will pull from stats of critics, people that are professionally paid and educated to review a film. And a general audience response is what we as just general people will respond. There is a parameter to these percentages. You know, there is their formulas that kind of work and don't work in different websites, but this is the most generally gone to. I don't really hold too much to it. I don't care if
they seem quite inconsistent. Yeah,
they are quite inconsistent, but I wanted to give a little generalistic response because we're talking about a fair few years ago and what it meant for people at the time. So yeah, that's what that is. So as a little synopsis, this sequel finds Diana, Princess, facing new challenges as she encounters the Dreamstone, an artifact that grants wishes. As the world falls into chaos due to the stone's powers, Diana must confront Maxwell Lord and Cheetah, a friend turned enemy. Did we watch it? Because I did not.
No, I didn't.
Nope.
Nah.
No, I don't think anyone did. This is the first film I think I've read that has actually made a proper loss because it was budgeted 200 million and it made 169. That's
wow. Okay.
Like Birds of Prey was February in the lockdown in the beginning, and it still made double its budget at the very least. But this is a big. I think this was a big knock on the door for Marvel, DC. Damn it.
It was Marvel. Marvel does the knocking.
No,
Marvel is
the one that knocks. So just to let you know, when this dropped in December 2020, the following month, January 2021, is when WandaVision actually released. So that sort of build up of that lockdown gray zone of what's happening, Marvel released theirs. Okay.
I do want to say, Scott is actually really good Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
I really like her as Wonder Woman.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Gal Gadot as a casting as Wonder Woman, she was like one of the best parts of like Batman v Superman.
Yeah,
her casting was. I think I preferred her more than a lot of the other cast, to be honest with you, of the whole Justice League.
Cyborg or Flash for sure.
They were good. I just think Wonder Woman was more like, I can envision her as Wonder Woman, and it's true. I don't think it was, and she is a model gone acting. I think her first acting role was in the Fast and Furious films as Han's love interest. Yeah, to my knowledge.
She's good. She's a good actress. And she
is
very well.
So now we come to what Fraser wanted to talk about is Zack Snyder's Justice League, released March of 2021. So just to kind of, it took 70 mil more to finish his version. And obviously...
Sorry, was that 1-7 or 7-0?
7-0. It took more to finish his one.
Who the fuck? Did Warner Brothers act for 70 million more? Like Warner Brothers
just to finish a film that should have already been finished.
In all fairness, this was one of the few times where the fans, the people asked for it. # Zack Snyder cut. And if you have that much of a people knocking on your door, you're gonna wanna respond. This wasn't them coming out of the blue. They wouldn't have done it otherwise, because the film wasn't finished. It was just rumored that there's this Zack Snyder version. They were like, it's not finished. There's a version. But the box office was not specified. It was released on HBO Max for streaming. Speculated that it lost money overall, but the critical response was 71% and the audience response was 93%. And everyone I've spoken to that watched it have said it was a much better film.
Yeah,
Fraser,
it's not hard.
Yeah, it is. It's right. It's not hard.
I mean,
You can make a better piece of shit after your first shit. It's still shit.
But,
True. I didn't watch it. I can't give too much. I know it was 4 hours long, right? It was an hour a piece.
That's how much they had to stitch it
I'm sorry.
together.
Yeah. No,
I'm sorry. Did you just say what the Snyder cut is 4 hours long?
Yes, it's cut into 4 parts.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, you're cutting out quite badly, mate.
Oh, sorry. Let me try it. Is this better?
Yeah, not visually or audio, but thank you for changing
I've released the mic from being.
Oh yeah, it might be a bit better. Yeah,
probably will help. Yeah.
Cool.
But
4 hours.
4 hours
is
too long.
So you didn't watch the original one, Rick?
No, I didn't see the original.
Do you want to watch the Zack Snyder one?
I thought about watching, like, if I'm gonna watch it, I'd rather watch the Snyder cut if it's better. I'm not watching 100%. A 4-hour fucking Justice League movie. Are you taking the piss?
We should try it. We should try it.
No.
We should try it together.
All in one place.
That would be awesome. We should do a commentary of it.
Running commentary.
That would be cool.
I
would love to do
4 hours.
It would just be Rickesh going.
Do a lot 4 hours.
What the fuck is this?
Have you all seen the Snyder cut or the original Justice League?
I've seen the original.
I watched. Yeah, only the OG.
I've seen both of them.
Okay. So after watching the Justice League, which you agree is shit, are you willing to sit down for another 4 hours to rewatch a film that should have been done properly the first time round? But you're going to sit there for an extra hour and a half and watch what it should have been in the first place.
If I get to sit with you, Rickesh, yes, I absolutely will. I think there would be gold in that experience, mate. Gold.
I think we should just watch Rickesh watching it. That would.
Yes,
I would rather.
Yes.
We do commentary on that. Yeah.
And we can just do commentary on
Rickesh reaction.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh my god, he's
I'm down for that.
sweating. He's twitching. Is that blood? Is blood coming out of his ears? What the fuck?
Oh, mate.
So, Phrase, you would say that it's a better film, but is it a good film?
It is. It just shouldn't take 4 hours to be a good film.
Yes.
It shouldn't take that out of your life. But it is a good film. Or maybe they could have cut it in half somehow, but then I don't know where that cutoff point would be. But yeah, it's good. Like, I think the reason is it delves more into like the backstories of Cyborg and also the Flash. So it does that a bit more.
Well, if you got 4 hours, you better be telling me some backstory.
Yeah, and it's kind of, it makes things lead, because like the synopsis is all over the place, like, but it makes connecting those things and leading up to all of those things, and then the end fight, it makes it a bit better.
When I looked into the synopsis, it just said, this is an extended director's cut version of Justice League with additional footage and a different narrative. And that's it. It's like the heroes come together to prevent the catastrophic arrival of Darkseid while facing internal conflicts and challenges. Is so broad and generic as a synopsis. I was like, all right, cool. Sounds worthy.
Narrative.
And a different narrative. I love that. And a different narrative.
Yeah, whoever is writing it just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah,
but I liked it. Not gonna lie, I like the way it ended. It ended a lot better. I think that's one of the main takeaways. It did end a lot better,
which is the aftertaste left of any film. And in all fairness, all the people that I saw it said, I enjoyed it, and they watched us say an hour or two a night. It wasn't necessarily sitting down everyone in one go, because it is in sort of like how the Hateful Eight is of the extended cut. You don't watch it in one go. You watch it in like a book chapter.
Yeah.
So I heard it was better. I just didn't know if it was a good film by itself. But I think Fraser said it perfectly. You shouldn't need 4 hours to make it good.
No.
No.
You need a better director, better writers, better actors. That'll do it.
Just better everything. Better everything, a different storyline that you need, and then it'll be a good film, maybe.
I think you
If
might
it's
as
not
well.
DC.
If you stick to the criteria of everything being different, then just go watch Marvel, because everything is different and it did do better.
And better.
You want to see a good film? Go watch a Marvel film. There you go. Fuck DC.
There's the whole DC trailer. Hey, you really want to watch this? There is
Are you sure?
There's another showing. So
Really?
at the same time, in the same month, the same year, while Zack Snyder's came out again on streaming, HBO Max, The Falcon and Winter Soldier was released on Marvel, on Disney Plus.
Well, we're in that phase of Marvel.
We're in that phase. We've already gone to the after effects of Marvel, and we're still trying to like get Zack Snyder's a cut. So we move on from Zack Snyder's Justice League to in 2021's The Suicide Squad. This is James Gunn in that small window when he was let go from Marvel from his own controversies before going back to do Guardians Volume 3. So The Suicide Squad had 185 mil budget, and it made 168 mil worldwide, which is quite surprising.
A loss again. Okay.
A loss again. It was critical response 90%, audience 82%. I have not personally watched this. I want to, though. I've heard really good things. A movie directed by James Gunn, serving as a sequel/reboot to the 2016 film. Amanda Waller assembles a team of dangerous supervillains known as Task Force X of the Suicide Squad to complete a high-risk mission on the South American island of Corto Maltese. Their objective is to destroy a secret lab and eliminate evidence of Project Starfish. Along the way, they face formidable enemies and personal challenges while showcasing action, humor, and a fresh take on the characters.
Yeah, sounds
all I
very
know
much
from
like a
this
James Gunn
is
kind of movie.
It was a very James Gunn movie. People really enjoyed it. And all I know about this is John Cena's characters when he went on to do his own show.
Yeah, it was I didn't watch it too long ago, actually. And watching John Cena's Peacemaker was pretty cool. And yeah, it was definitely a reboot because they had the whole like first scene with some of the original characters and then they all get like killed. Spoilers.
Oh.
Apart from obviously Margot Robbie. And
Yeah.
then they introduced some new ones like Idris Elba. And it's not bad. You know, Idris Elba and John Cena kind of rivalry going on. And then but yeah, I can see why it made what it did. Is kind of like just another throwaway film, I guess.
I think people saw the tag of Suicide Squad. Like the only thing that would have pulled people like myself is James Gunn. I'm like, cool, I like you. I would imagine what you could do with like a sort of the odd ones out of the superheroes and villains. That's his vibe. That's where he excels, you know, the odd ones out. And this does mark, business and politically speaking, James Gunn and DC's sort of first contact, and where it leads us, which I'll touch upon later.
Did any of you guys watch it as well? No.
No,
I did. I actually do want to watch it though. I will watch it eventually.
Might as well. One of the things I've just thought about as well, though, when you've got the original thing like Suicide Squad, and then you make one called The Suicide Squad, it's kind of like you're saying this one is the definitive version, and you can disregard the old one.
Yeah.
Which it didn't even really do that. I don't think so. I don't know why you would bother.
Yeah, it's a half-assed reboot, isn't it? It's like, well, we liked some of what we had, so we're going to try again. No, you can't try again. That's not how it works. You can't just try again. If you're going to try again, you have to try again from the very beginning. Like, you know, if you're revamping Spider-Man, you know, and even Marvel and Sony learned that lesson with Spider-Man. You know, like you can't, like the Andrew Garfield ones almost throwaway, even though they're one of like some of my favorites, but they are kind of throwaway when you compare them because it's like it was too much at once. We were getting too much Spider-Man, too much origin. And
it's a soft reboot where I think DC by this point was doing too much of that. They were still trying to touch upon things and kind of introduce things or sneak things into other films. It's like, no, this isn't like Thor Ragnarok where you're kind of doing a backhanded Hulk story at the same time. They're doing that once in a blue moon, and they need to do that and they're doing it well. But no, I mean, the name didn't pull me at the time, and I think August 2021, we were still in that on and off lockdown mode, depending on what country you was in at the time. It is a film that I would love to watch at home with you guys. Like, chill, get some food, no issues there.
Yeah.
It is one of those films, actually. Yeah.
I mean, like, they've done this twice now. They've done first Justice League, and then they've redone it with the Zack Snyder's director cut, which tells me that, you know, the studio obviously saw the first one, was like, this is pretty shit. Let's dump an extra 70 million into redoing it to make it a little bit better, even if it is 4 hours long. You've got the second version of the Suicide Squad, which is like, okay, we know our first version was pretty shit, so we're going to reboot it again under a whole new director with a whole new cast and put that out there, see if you like it. And apparently that still flopped as well. They made a 20 million loss, or almost 20 million loss.
Yeah.
So that tells me, like, you know, DC just don't know what they're doing, man. They might have money, but they don't know what they're doing with it, which is crazy.
Yep. Preach.
Yeah. So we move on to the next film. I don't know why I personally am annoyed by this film. I've not watched it, but I'm like, it just pisses me off. The next film is Black Adam. It's released in October 2022. We're now kind of more or less officially out of the lockdown mode. We've kind of gone back to as close to normality as we could. The cinema realm has opened up more. This had a 210 mil budget, and it made 389 mil. Critical response is 38%. Audience is 88%. And and just to mention for the Suicide Squad before, apologies to jump back, the Marvel was at What If stage and Shang-Chi.
Not doing all that much.
Not their strongest, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, What If was amazing, though, in all fairness.
What If was great. What If was great.
Shang-Chi was enjoyable.
Yeah, both very niche audiences. But
this
Shang-Chi, was that released straight to Disney Plus as well, wasn't it?
No, that was cinemas as well.
It came out pretty quickly, I think.
It came out quick, because I think I just waited for it.
Yeah.
I did as well. But in all fairness, this is post-Endgame, so we're all going to be a bit disregarded. If you want to know our opinion on Marvel, please go check out our Marvel poddy. Yeah. So Black Adam, in ancient Karnak or something, Teth Adam was bestowed the almighty powers of the gods. After using these powers for vengeance, he was imprisoned, becoming Black Adam. Nearly 5,000 years have passed, and Black Adam has gone from a man to myth to legend. Now free, his unique form of justice born out of rage is challenged by modern-day heroes who form the Justice Society. Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Atom Smasher, and Cyclone. This was quoted to be the revival of the DCEU, with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's character Black Adam at its center, teasing even Henry Cavill's Superman and its implied Adam versus Supers at the end of the movie. This obviously was not the case, as the film was a bomb.
Yeah, this is the problem, isn't it? Like, they have quite a good premise there. Like, when you said the first paragraph and a half, and maybe 2 paragraphs, perfect. Like, okay, I'd watch that. Yeah, The Rock playing, like, you know, a castaway that's been away for thousands of years, become a legend. It sounds very fucking Maui from Moana, but, you know, we've seen he nailed that role. I'm sure he'll do it awesome as Black Adam. Yeah, you know, a lot darker, grittier, cool. And then it was like, oh, but then we're going to bring in this character, this character, this character, this character. How have you not fucking learned to just let a person have their solo film properly? You can have 2 superheroes and 1 villain tops in your origin story, but don't fucking overload it.
Yeah, it was an overload. I think if they brought back in old characters that we recognize, okay, it's a bit more understandable, bringing Wonder Woman or Flash, but
no, it ruins it straight away. It takes everything away from it.
It does.
I do believe you.
Right? Homecoming is like this perfect reboot for Spider-Man. You know, we've already met him a couple of times where he's been in the things, Civil War and stuff. So, like, you know, we already know the Spider-Man. He gets his origin story, and Iron Man is in it once, and he's the only superhero that really appears in that film, apart from I think
Captain America in videos.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Little
Yeah.
cameos.
Easter
But they're
eggs.
fun.
Easter
You know,
eggs.
you can do little Easter eggs, but they're not in it. You know what I
No.
mean? Like, you don't take that away from the main character. Otherwise, it's just, oh, okay, it's now a Iron Man film rather than a Spider-Man film, and you know, you got to balance it.
Mhm.
They just don't. They can't help themselves.
No.
Yeah.
I think for The Rock, like, I like The Rock, generally speaking. He is a fan favorite cast. Like, he's been wanting to be Black Adam. Fans have been imagining him for probably about 10 years. Like, it's been on the works for a while now. But I just didn't like the cockiness of it all, man. The audacity of, like, I'm not even saying The Rock himself, his PR, the way they were throwing, like, I'm the center of this, and this is what it's going to be. Black Adam is a Shazam villain. Don't tease to fight Henry Cavill when we don't even know what's happening with his Superman at the end of the film. Don't bring in a Justice Society that we don't know. And, you know, apparently Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate was really good, apparently. That's all I've really heard about it. But like Charlie said, you're putting too much in it, and you're not even connecting it to the original people. Like, start with Shazam, bro. Start with the main reason that you're here, and you are a villain. And I just did not like the audacity they had with it, man. They were just got way too cocky and like, DC, calm down. In the movie
just
universe,
messy, isn't it? It's like giving
messy.
a hyper kid a load of crayons and a blank piece.
Have you guys seen Black Adam? Have you both seen it?
I haven't seen it. I think
No, I have
kind of
not.
shows that we
I have
jumped
not.
off of DC around Aquaman.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've not seen it either, but I imagine like The Rock being the main cast, like The Rock nowadays, he kind of plays the exact same character in every single film that he's in, whether it's like Fast and Furious or whatever. He's like the big, strong tank guy, and that's the same character that he's typecast in every single movie that he plays. So I don't feel like I need to watch it to see The Rock with a bit of magical powers taking down some people, because I've seen The Rock do that in every other film. It doesn't sound like anything different to any other Rock movie. Like, The Rock might have been a favorite for the role, but you could have given this to anyone else. It feels like most of the budget for this movie was used to pay The Rock to be in the movie, and it still bombed.
Star power.
Like, what does that tell you?
They're looking for star power.
Have you noticed that when someone's like a fan favorite to play a character, it always ends up so like underwhelming, because your idea of what they're going to be and what they're actually going to be is two very different things. What you need is someone who you pay, called a casting director, to actually hunt out talent and find someone who no one expects, and then all of a sudden, bang, you've got something. It could even be someone people already know, but if they do a good job of it, and it's like, wow, they're actually going to play it well, cool.
Yeah,
you know, it's exciting. Whereas, you know, you go Emma Watson playing Belle, you know, like everyone was like, yeah, she'd be so good,
No,
I mean, personally, I love Emma Watson, but it was nowhere near the animation.
No, I that's a separate thing. But I mean, the only reason I didn't like her as Belle was it's not she can't act. She's done it really well. But I'm like, it's sometimes when someone's too much of a star, I'm like, I'm not looking at Belle. I'm looking at Emma Watson. It's too much on the nose. But anyway, I know we digress.
Yes.
So, would you be happy for us to move on?
Yes.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one, and we're towards the end now of this particular part, boys. So the next one is Shazam! Lightning, please. Fury of the Gods, the sequel to the original Shazam movie. This is March 2023 it came out. That is a big, I'm glad that you said that phrase, because a big thing about this movie was it was very under-advertised. A lot of people didn't know. I saw it around, but
I literally did not know there was a sequel.
There was a sequel, yes.
I think I saw 2 adverts for it, literally.
I saw adverts for it, but I didn't feel the need to go watch it.
They were probably both on the same day as well.
Probably. Oh, so just to put it out there as well, Black Adam, Marvel, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever came out. That's the stage that we're talking. That's the stage that we're talking about. So Shazam: Fury of the Gods, 125 mil budget. It made 133 mil worldwide. Critical response was 49%, audience 86%. And as a little synopsis, Shazam, bestowed with the power of the gods, Billy Batson and his fellow foster kids are still learning how to juggle teenage life with their adult superhero alter egos. When a vengeful trio of ancient gods arrive on Earth in search of the magic stolen from them long ago, Shazam and his allies get thrust into a battle for their superpowers, their lives, and the fate of the world.
You know what the problem is with DC floundering like this?
Came way too late, bro.
Marvel doesn't have competition, and now we're in this kind of stage with Marvel as well. If DC was holding it up, and we could say, oh wow, DC's doing really well, but Marvel's Phase 5 is just not really, we could probably have some hope that they would actually pull their socks up and do a bit better. But while both of them are on downward slopes, it doesn't look great.
Yeah.
But look, not in a bad way. Marvel's earned it. There is an up and there is a down. There is an incline and decline. Everything has its moment, and I'm sure Marvel will come back. But there's been none of that for DC in my mind. Man of Steel was one of the first and only films that I really enjoyed. And that wasn't even a DCEU film. It was just like, oh, it worked. Let's carry on and see where we go. Maybe we can do a Marvel. And I'm like, either copy them like for like, either do it the way they've done it. Introduce your Phase 1 characters. As Charlie said, do an individual film, build them up, make me care, let me enjoy the cast and their adventure. Then throw them against each other, with each other, around each other. Oh.
Yeah. Simple. It's very simple storytelling. You know, any kind of character you bring into any story, you introduce them first. Or you know, you just introduce them properly. And then if they've got friends and whatever, you introduce them properly. You allow your main character to have their emotional journey that doesn't involve you know, everyone being involved all the time, you know?
Yeah. You know, even to make a comparison, for example, right? So these are films that we've kind of hit our own little nail on the head of there's too much happening or there's too many, you know, characters and being thrown in. So just to chuck in, and we're going to talk about the first film, not the second one. So there's no spoilers. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, yeah? A Spider-Man that we're fairly familiar with. Yeah, GG claps. And obviously they introduced, 4 or 5 other Spider people? In that one film, within less than 2 hours worth of a film, you got everyone's story, you got everyone where everyone was coming. You had enough, but you still cared about the main character, didn't pull focus, and it done it well as an IP that, like DC, what they've done is it's familiar, it's comical. You know a little bit about it. Okay, Batman and Superman's a bit more well known than all the Spider-Men, but still, that balance just from that proficiency of writing.
Yeah.
That says it all. It works. And it works with 100 other films that you don't know anything about, and you watch it and you think, I like that film. About 5 different people.
Yeah. It spends about 25% of the film at the beginning telling the story of Miles Morales. And that's what you're there to see. And then you can fuck around and show him with other people and whatever, but you've given him that. You've given him it.
You have to build a stable foundation.
Focus.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were just supporting characters for Miles' story. Which is fine, exactly. But Miles still had his time in the spotlight. You still saw his story, his background, his art, and he still got all of that development. DC don't do that. DC don't give characters time to develop, or they just shove as much as you can in, so they have a nice looking trailer with all these fucking characters and all like these descriptions with all these people in there, and you're like, oh my god, that sounds really good. And you watch it on screen, and it's like, what the fuck is this? Why is Batman being lifted into the sky with bats? It doesn't make any sense.
The trailer films in there. Trailer films. Kid with crowns.
But just to touch back on, none of us have watched Shazam! Fury of the Gods, right?
No.
Hell no.
No. Again, it's a film that I wouldn't mind watching. A lot of people said that it just came a little bit too late. Like the hype train of the original Shazam, it came a little bit too late after it. Like maybe if it was a year or so before, we would have been a bit more inclined, myself included. But I'm still happy to go watch it at one point, you know, film it, Netflix it, but it is what it is at this point for me. Especially when the universe it ties into is kind of like breaking down at this point around it.
Yeah.
So again, in Marvel reflection is Shazam 2 came out, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania came out a month before. That's where it was in Marvel. Yeah. I've heard bad things.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we come to the very end of this particular segment of this list, and we come to what it is, The Flash. Now, I made a note here that when I wrote this report, this was about 2 weeks ago. This was 3.5 weeks out. So the budget was 190 mil, and the box office wasn't established yet because it was still new. It said it was estimated, but opening weekend stats is looking like to be a bomb. Now, listening to more up to date in the last couple of weeks, poddies and reviews and whatnot, it's looking not just to be a bomb, but DC's biggest bomb yet.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. Apparently so. The critical response is 65%, audience is 84%. So, as a little synopsis, the Flash pulls from the Flashpoint comic story that sees Barry Allen travel back in time to change the course of events that led to his mother's murder when he was a child. Chaos ensues when his time jump creates an alternate reality in which the Justice League doesn't exist.
Oh, good.
What? Yeah, amazing.
He just comes back. He's like, "Oh my god, what's happening?" What do you mean? What's the Justice League? What's the DC? Dun dun dun.
It looks like they're doing it again.
Good, man. The trailer looked good to me.
Yeah, but that's how it always is.
I know. That's what Rick is always saying to me.
Good trailers.
Yes.
They make shit films.
No,
good
the trailers did not look good, guys. Come on. The trailer for Flash actually looks so bad.
Yeah, it actually doesn't even look that great.
The CG is awful in the trailer. Just watching it, I was like, nobody cared about this. They literally was like, we've spent 300 mil, we have to put something out. All right. Like I feel like Corridor Crew edited most of it.
But it's because again, like the only thing they've proved is that they can't do these superhero team ups. And they're just doing it again. They got Supergirl in there. Is it the same? Batman. Is it the same Supergirl from the TV show? I think no, it's not. It's something
brand new Supergirl. I think she looks pretty good. Michael Keaton's OG Batman, which star power wasn't enough to pull.
No. Does that mean Michael that Shannon those films are DCEU now, though?
I think no. So obviously, when the Flash comes back in the Flashpoint storyline, he comes back to an alternative reality. So technically, he's entered the 1989 Batman reality, if that makes sense. Okay. Or no, it's not the original one. It's specified that it's still an alternative reality, but
this is the problem.
I know.
They're trying to do, and with this film, they're trying to do what No Way Home did.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's not going to work.
No, well, it's definitely not going to work now.
No way.
But I think this is what they needed in a sense, because this is their way of capping off this broken DCE, which no longer exists, by the way, because it's a retcon now. It's a Flashpoint storyline. It resets everything. So within their own universe, they kind of can justify, our Batman's not this Batman anymore. This Superman's not our Superman anymore. It's their way of, in comic book logic, resetting everything.
Yeah. Smart.
Ending contracts.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not going to call it smart because it's been done in the comics 100 times. It's already an idea that's existed.
Smart for DC. Warner Brothers, to be more.
Yeah, Warner Brothers. Yeah, I think you're right there. Yeah, absolutely. I think it was necessary.
It'd be smart for them just to stop.
Yeah.
I think everyone needs to take a break. And just to kind of compare it to Marvel at this particular time, Secret Invasion has come out same month on Disney Plus. I've watched a couple of episodes. I've enjoyed it so far.
Okay.
Same. Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't started it yet. But I will.
I think I've watched the first 3, and I'm going to wait for the next 3 to go, and I'll watch them back to back.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to watch it one and wait. I just want to get through it. So that is. Sorry. Go on, Ricky.
No, I was just going to say, with this Flash film, is it the same Flash who was in the last films? Because I know that there's something up with the actor and he went running away.
So we're going to touch on that. We're going to touch on that on the next segment. It's Ezra Miller. Yes, This is his final role. Warner Brothers kind of said they're going to release him. So this has been the list, the stats, and the synopsis of the DCEU. So thank you for listening to this segment. I know it's been long, boys, but to get on this journey, but it was necessary to really go through it again. So the next segment is the DCEU controversies. So this is what was happening during all of these releases and what was adding to it in the real world, rather than just it's a good film, it's a bad film, it's shit, it's ugly, whatever. This was what was kind of happening around it. So
Damn, called it ugly.
I always say ugly because I always think of the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I think that always just it's the terminology there.
Just rude.
Some of it was like, shut up, it was disappointing. All right, how's that? Is that better?
Gosh.
Right. So some of the controversies. So one of it is naturally the critical reception. It's been such a mixed critical reception of all the films. So like while movies like Wonder Woman and Shazam were generally well received, others such as Batman v Superman and Justice League faced significant criticism, leading to debates among fans and critics about the direction and quality of the cinematic universe of DCEU. There is Zack Snyder's vision, so the production of Justice League becoming highly controversial, and then moving on to the whole hashtag release the Snyder cut. And again, to a certain extent, even though it is an advocation of more DCEU, it's also a backlash against the original release as well, because people like, we have rejected this piece of whatever you want to call it so much, we've rejected this OG one, that we want the better one, the one that, as Charlie even says it, like the way you imagine something to be. And the way Fraser said, it's a good film. Shouldn't take 4 hours to be a good film, though. So this is what I wanted to touch on. So the original 2016 Suicide Squad faced controversies surrounding its editing and the final product. The film's marketing and trailers showcased a very different tone and style, leading to high expectations. However, the final theatrical version faced criticism for its disjointed narrative and pacing, causing speculation about the studio's involvement in the editing process. And what that reflects is when people responded to the trailer of Suicide Squad, they were like, oh, it's going to be this type of film. You know, it had like, I think it was a Queen song as well. Like, it's going to be jovial, it's going to be bouncy and fun. The movie editors were like, shit, oh, this is what people are expecting now. Okay, let's go back and re-edits, reshoots. And they tried to mash all of these expectations together, and obviously it didn't work.
Doesn't work like that.
Yeah. I know I'm reading a lot. If there's anything you want to jump in on, please do.
Cool.
Okay, okay. So there's been a lot of directorial changes in the DCEU. So, for instance, before Justice League, director Rick Famuyiwa, apologies about the pronunciation, departed from The Flash due to creative differences. Seth Grahame-Smith had previously left the project for the same reason. Additionally, Ben Affleck, who was initially set to write, direct, and star in the standalone Batman film, stepped down from the director's chair, leading to Matt Reeves taking over the project, leading in The Batman starring Robert Pattinson. So it was the decline and him stepping down that led to The Batman of 2022. So there's obviously been fan backlash and studio response. So fan reactions to certain DCEU films, especially Batman v Superman and Justice League, have been polarizing. While some fans appreciated the movies, others expressed disappointment and criticized various creative choices. Warner Brothers has responded to the feedback by reevaluating its approach and making efforts to address fan concerns. This led to Batman v Superman, the extended cut, in which some fans argued that the extended version addressed some of the narrative issues and provided a more coherent story. This led to debates about the effectiveness of the theatrical version, the studio's decision to release an extended cut. And yeah, the whole Henry Cavill moustache sort of thing. So I didn't even know that Batman v Superman even itself, like Justice League, got an extended cut release as well.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Did it? Yeah. I had no idea.
Did we find out what happened to the horse at the beginning?
Charlie really needs to know. Charlie really needs to know.
Charlie was like, come here, boy. It's all right.
It was like one of them scenes on the beach where we run in slow motion towards each other, just in arms.
But what, like, I can't imagine how they could improve that with
more
longer run, with more. Did you see it, or you just heard about it?
I didn't even know it existed until I'd done this research.
It feels like it rings a bell, but I probably forgot about it straight away.
Because everyone knows when you're trying to create something, what makes it better is adding more of the same thing. That's what I do when I put too much salt in my food. I add more. It's just worse, guys.
If that Batman fight
problem,
scene, if that Batman fight scene is longer, then that's fine.
It is longer, but it's just on loop. It's just him jumping.
Wait,
it's just him jumping back
he's
up.
done this. He already kicked that guy.
And then going back down and kicking everyone.
Kicks Martha.
It's like 12 brains per fall. Just, whoa! It's just one guy falling over and 700 shots.
It's Batman! It's Batman! It's Batman!
They got Quentin Tarantino to reshoot it.
Yes.
Oh, mate, I would happily. So now we move on to what Rikesh was mentioning of the Ezra Miller, aka the Flash controversy. Now, listen, there is heck of a lot of shit that goes into this, and I've watched a lot of people talk about this guy, and it's not been fun. I'll be honest with you, it's been a lot of negativity to read into this stuff. I just want to first and foremost say that this person obviously has a lot of mental health issues happening. That I'm not going to I don't want to advocate or jump on the hype wagon of people being like, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that, and that judgment kind of fueling not that we have a massive fan base for our podcast, but you know when people use it to boost their numbers I'm not saying that. This person has a mental health issue. There is a problem here. So Ezra Miller has had many allegations, charges, and arrests put against him throughout his run as the Flash in DCEU.
Just want to stop you, Sirhan.
Yes.
They go by they, just to be safe. Ezra Miller goes by they, them, yeah.
Oh, is it they, them? I apologize. Yeah. Thank you very much. This is obviously what I'm copying and pasting a little bit, so it's that language there. So, has had a lot of allegations, charges, and arrests put against them throughout their run as the Flash in the DCEU, such as choking a woman in a bar. Yeah. There's been elements of multiple emotional, abusive, and violent outbursts, assaults, and offensive comments in the DC panels in Comic-Con, to name a few. Wow. This drop in Ezra Miller's mental health and ultimately Ezra Miller's bankability has led to DC to let go of them completely and to recast after the 2023 movie The Flash. There is a lot more that comes with this as well.
Dude, at Comic-Con with your own fans and shit, that's not the time to be a dick.
Yeah, Rich. Yes. A man's choked the woman. I think because some comments at Comic-Con.
The other stuff aside, like when you're at Comic-Con, you're there representing your movie to see your fans who are excited to see you. That is not the time to be a dick to your fan base and cussing people.
And
I mean, I've not seen
why. But that's why I say that this is a reflection on his mental health, because he's apparently, Ezra Miller's apparently come from the theatre. And I know that to my knowledge, the transfer from theatre on stage and that sort of fame to Hollywood is a big change. I'm not saying that this is a reason, but I'm sure it's an additive to this person's decline in their mental health and their reactions. I'm not excusing it. I'm just trying to understand it rather than judge it.
That sounds like a weak-ass excuse to me to be a dick. I came from the
theatre. Fair, man. Fair. You get to have your opinion, and you should, because it wasn't nice what that person was doing.
Just saying, if this was Marvel, drops.
Oh,
drop.
Very easily. Yeah. Come on, man. James Gunn made a comment on like Twitter or something, and they let him go for like a year, even though people say it might have been a stunt or something. But
he was never going to be let go permanently, for sure. No way. Marvel were never going to let James Gunn walk permanently.
You never. Okay, we're gonna get to that, Rikesh. We're gonna get to that. So the last controversy is Amber Heard, aka the Mira controversy, which I forgot about this. So this is perhaps the most publicized controversy affecting DC is Amber Heard's legal battle with ex-husband Johnny Depp. Since their divorce in 2017, they've been involved in ongoing legal proceedings, including Depp's defamation suit against Heard. The negative attention surrounding the case has led to calls on social media for Heard to be removed from Aquaman 2, with a petition garnering millions of signatures. The overall negative publicity has placed a strain on the DCEU and the marketing of Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom, with discussions of a potential boycott of the sequel circulating online. Currently, Heard is scheduled to appear in Aquaman 2 this December 2023. This is just to name a few controversies. They've had so much shit going on in every layer of from directors to cast to studio interference and backlash and fan, there's been a problem every step of the way.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think we're going to run out of time soon, aren't we?
Yeah.
Not too bad. It's tough because a studio obviously can't be seen to be supporting certain people's views or actions or ideals. But at the same time, can you relate actors, whatever they've done, to the character they're playing on screen and to a whole movie production and all the people that depend on the movie doing well and things like that? It's really complicated.
Yeah,
when it comes down to it that way. I don't know if I agree with fans putting out petitions to get people off films because there's a bigger effect. But yeah, I see at the same time, maybe you don't want somebody who doesn't represent your own ideals or things that you think or has offended you in any way to be in your media. So
yeah, like Jason Momoa was ripping the shit out of her during the whole court case. Like, he clearly didn't like her. So yeah, I mean, I think that's why a lot of people were just like, look, if even Aquaman doesn't like working with her, then just we don't care about having her back. Like, don't give this woman a fucking job. And the thing is, this thing has made her more famous. The whole court trial was so fucking big. Like, I think that's the first time I've ever really known the name Amber Heard. You know what I mean? Like, so
I think I think from the studio's point of view, I think they would rather drop her. But I think it's more of the case of like contracts and legal shit, which is why she is going to be in this movie, because maybe for contracted reasons or legal, whatever it is, like, she is supposed to be in this movie. She signed whatever she's meant to be signing, and maybe she's fighting court battles to keep her in the movie. I don't know the whole ins and outs of how these contracts and shit work, man. But I would imagine the amount of people in general over the course of that trial who were shitting all over Amber Heard, if this movie does come out and she is in it, I can tell you right now it's going to bomb, because no one's going to watch it if Amber Heard is in that movie.
100%.
And the studio must obviously know this, right? But the only reason they would keep it in there that I can think of would be because of her contract.
Legalities.
That's the only logical thing I can think of, and why they would keep her in the movie.
That makes sense.
I think it's always a question of whether studios and films take on board these people's personal lives, which is fair to be personal. I know it's been publicized and famous, but regardless of contracts, business, politics, what they can and can't do, what they should or shouldn't do, or even if a petition is being signed or not signed, people are seeing it and feeling a certain way, and that response is leaving that residue in the in the ingrains of DCEU. No one's gonna look back on this and go, it was just shit films. Fair enough. You can have a bad run, but it's like, oh, but this was happening. This was happening. Oh, that actor was. Oh, it makes you feel differently when you know these things. Even
it
if
leaves the air around it all.
Yes, exactly. It's like the aura around it. So with what's the movies that have happened, the controversies and the backlash and the results, this is the present result of all of this and the future. So James Gunn and Peter Safran, who are now the new head of the DC, not DCEU, sorry, just the DC. So Rick, I don't think James Gunn's ever going to be able to go back in the foreseeable future to Marvel, because he's now heading up the new lineup of DC. And with Peter Safran, their new project shall be reportedly released in the next year or so. And with Warner Brothers unlikely to attend San Diego Comic-Con this year, no major DC announcements are expected. However, the newly named DCU is what they're calling it now, movie and TV show lineup has been released, which starting with the movies. So I'm going to go through a little list of their TV and movies and stuff. Before I do, what do you guys feel about this new creation of the DCU now? With
so like what, 15 years later, now they want to copy Marvel. Like, fuck the DCEU. Let's just call it DCU. Was it MCU? All right, cool. DCU. Yeah, we nailed it, boys. Good job. Well done. Yeah, solid. Good stuff.
You got it, boys.
Fucking.
You got it, boys.
But they're just doing it again. Like, they've seen Marvel's like TV series like coming up, and now they want to see if they can get in on it as well. And it's unlikely to be as good.
Yeah.
I reckon it could be good, but it's that journey's already been had. I think that's the reality of it. We've already gone through it.
We're already in burnout.
Seen it successful. Yeah, and we've seen it unsuccessful. And it's like, well, even if you do well, good on you. But if it can pull my attention, it's gonna be like overstimulation. As Fraser said, we're in burnout mode.
Yeah.
So
I think if they do it well, we'll go and watch them, and and we could possibly become DC fans in the next 20 years, and then we'll be looking back going, "Fucking hell!" Do you remember?
Listen, I love DC, and
know.
I think James Gunn will do well. I believe that to be the case. He has the potential, but we'll see what this makes of him. So I'm only going to read the first little synopsis because it's the only thing that's really been released in terms of info. And I'll read the rest. I'll just read a quick little list. So the first thing that's been released is Superman Legacy. So this is the only project with a release date of July 11th, 2025, written and directed by Gunn. Superman Legacy will follow Kal-El as he reconciles his extraterrestrial origins with his human family and upbringing. It sounds like a reboot of 2013 Spider-Man Man of Steel, but with one important change. Henry Cavill is not coming back as Superman. David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan are set to take on the roles of Superman and Lois Lane, with David Corenswet's most notable roles as Reed in the House of Cards. Not in the House of Cards, in House of Cards. That's why I wanted to put that in there for you guys. So Reed in House of Cards. Reed. If you see a picture of him, he's Corenswet. Yeah, I can't pronounce his name. I do apologize for the names.
This guy was in House of Cards.
Apparently so. He's a very Superman-looking man, and Superman Legacy is based off a comic book of a bit more of his origins, a bit more of how he kind of grows up into his role.
Oh my god!
The moustache on him makes me laugh because she's showing a picture on his phone and zooms out.
It's really hard to see his face with a fucking moustache on it.
It's very, 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 very Superman.
I don't remember this guy being in House of Cards, but all right.
This is a TV show.
I think he was Thingy's love interest. The reporter.
He was someone. I mean, I didn't watch it, so I wouldn't know.
You're saying this is a TV show?
No, sorry, this is a film. So what I'm reading now are the films.
Okay.
So there's Superman Legacy film. There's one called the Superhero Team, The Authority. There's one called the first Batman one is The Brave and the Bold, which is going to have a Batman and Robin film with crossovers with other heroes.
Oh no.
This is also based off an animated series. Okay, not me. I'm not the one releasing it, guys.
Damn it, sir.
God damn it, sir.
So The Brave and the Bold is going to be Batman and Robin. Next film will be Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and the last one is is Swamp Thing. I don't need to say anything more than that, but these obviously subject to change. But this is their movie lineup.
I can't wait.
Sort it out, Sirhan. God's sake.
I'm guys. I'm going to get on the horn. I'll talk to people. I will talk to people.
We're not angry. Just disappointed.
Just disappointed. Yes. All right, Dad. Thank you.
Oh, that's so many times.
Do you want me to finish? Do you want me to get to the end of this? We're all hungry. We're all tired, and you keep interrupting me. All right. I read the films. It's not my fault. I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry, listeners. If you're trying to listen to a more chilled out podcast, and welcome. This is for the DCEU TV shows. There is Creature Commandos, Waller, which is based on Amanda Waller's character, again Viola Davis in the lead role. Booster Gold. There is a TV show called Lanterns coming out, which is the first time we'll be seeing the Green Lantern Corps since the Ryan Reynolds movie and their sort of thing in the live action.
No, even Ryan Reynolds talks about that.
Yep. Paradise Lost, which is an element of a Wonder Woman story, but in a Game of Thrones sort of style.
How have they got all this planned? How have they got money left? Just stop.
But as a little summary of all of this present and future plans, it's the cast from the DCEU to the DCU is only rumored at the moment, but seemingly looks like Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman and Jason Momoa's Aquaman may return. Obviously, Ben Affleck left a long time ago. Henry Cavill's been let go a while ago. A last point on this. It has been confirmed that whoever the cast for the DCEU may be, James Gunn and Peter Safran's new universe will feature actors playing the same roles across movies, television, animation, and gaming, which I think is a nice touch.
They have big ambitions. They've got money to
Big,
do all
big
of that,
ambitions.
regardless of if it bombs or not.
Yeah.
So that was the present and future, which moves us to just a little mini game for us. I have sent a list to the group chat of all the films of the DCEU, and what this game is. And again, I do apologize. This is a little inspired from Mr. Sunday Movies. I've seen him do this before, and I was like, I like the idea of this. I'm gonna copy and paste it. So sorry. So shout out to him and his channel and the Weekly Planet. This is what they call the review game. Okay, and these are reviews from IMDb, and these are the extremes of 1-star reviews to 10-star reviews. And I'm going to read you out a review, and you're going to tell me any of the films, any of the films of the DCEU, which one is it? They're all real. They're all real on IMDb, but which film does it mean? Okay, I've sent a list of the films if you need a little refresher.
Okay.
One second.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to go from one extreme to the other. So we're going to start with 1 out of 10 stars. I wish I could give it a 0.
Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, Batman vs Superman.
For sure.
Batman versus Superman. Fraser, the review is, because you just left, I wish I could give it a 0. 1 out of 10 stars. The boys have said Batman v Superman. What do you think it is?
And it's just out of these ones that you've sent.
It's the whole DCEU list of films.
Right.
I've sent you the whole
list. Could be Justice League, or
Justice League.
It could be Wonder Woman.
Okay. It is Man of Steel, the very first film. Yes.
Wow.
Who rated these? Who gave it a 1? They wish they could give it a 0.
These are all IMDb reviews, and they're a mix of reviews of when the film came out and a little bit of the future. So people watch it 4, 5, 6 years later.
Like
I'm going to let you guys.
Critic reviews.
User reviews. These are audience reviews, not critical reviews.
No fucking hell. Okay.
Whoever's editing this, I'll let you put up a little scoreboard of who gets what right at what time, because I'm not doing it now.
You like to work, don't you?
I tried to get the best reviews, but honestly, some of them were so negative. I was like, this is bumming me out, bro. Like, this is really bumming me out. Okay, next one. This is a 10 out of 10 star review. If DC and Warner want to know how to make their DCU work, this is it. It's dark, gritty, bright, fun, exciting, and it hits the heart. No more crappy standalones. This is the movie that could kick off a true competitor to the MCU, and we loved it. What film?
Nothing. That's got to be a Marvel film for sure. That's a wrong review. There's no way any of these films got a 10 out of 10.
Justice League review.
You think it's a Justice League review?
I think it's Shazam.
You think it's Shazam? Well, I'm here to tell you. Hold on. I'm going to put a little F and it'll C.
But Justice League or like Zack Snyder's Justice League, I reckon, if anything.
Okay. Well, the film was ding, ding, ding. Fraser gets the point. It's Shazam.
Boom.
The first Shazam film.
I mean, it was a good film. 10 out of 10 is a bit of a push, but it was a good film.
Well, these are both extremes. Okay, next film, next review. Watching this movie is an act of self-harm. It won an Oscar. Thus, Oscars are now meaningless.
It won an Oscar. Oh, that was Batman vs Superman, wasn't it?
What film is this?
Yeah, didn't BVS
Batman vs Superman won an Oscar.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think it did.
Rigged.
For some visual effects. Yeah, I swear it did. Maybe not an Oscar, though. I'll go BVS.
BVS?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Wonder Woman, just because it got an Oscar.
Okay. Frazzle?
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'm going to go Wonder Woman as well.
Okay. The film was 2016's Suicide Squad.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I don't know what it won an Oscar in. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe the music. I don't know. Honest to God.
Fucking soundtrack.
Yeah.
Can't wait to stick with
All
that,
my
Sean.
friends are heathens, take it slow.
Take it slow.
That is awesome, man. Ja-jam. Right. I smiled. I laughed. I screamed. I jumped. I cried a lot. This movie has everything for a true DC fan. It's literally a dream come true. Still can't believe it's real. Glad it worked out the way it did. What a masterpiece. If I could give this movie a 20 out of 10, I would. This is a 10 out of 10.
High.
These
They
people
were
are
tripping on
unhinged.
LSD.
A 10 out of 10 review, boys. What film?
I'm going to go Justice League.
Birds of
Okay, which Justice
You
League?
go Birds of Prey. Oh my god. I'm gonna go Aquaman.
Aquaman, Birds of Prey. Charlie, what Justice League was you thinking about, mate? OG or Zaki?
Now I feel like it's going to be one of them and I'm going to get it wrong.
No, we just need to be
I'll
specific.
go OG. I'll go OG.
OG.
Yeah. I should have gone Snyder.
You should have gone Snyder. It was Zack Snyder's
It was
Justice
Zack
League.
Snyder's one.
It was Zack Snyder's Justice League.
We should watch
Okay.
it, guys.
Okay, no.
Give me half point for that. I was close.
You know
That's
what?
the
I'll
same
give you.
film.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm going to give you a half. You deserve it that much. You deserve that much.
Thank
A
you.
half a point.
Thank you.
Okay. So next one is how do you describe this? It's bad. It's so bad it makes The Room look like a masterpiece. It takes itself so seriously and becomes silly in the last 20 minutes. An absolute mess and the worst thing to happen in movies. 1 out of 10
Batman
stars.
vs Superman. Batman vs Superman.
Batman vs Superman. Fraser?
I'm gonna go Batman v Superman as well.
Charlie?
Yeah. I mean, BVS. Yeah. It's got to be in it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. Everyone got it right.
Yeah.
It's Batman v Superman. Damn. Damn. Boys.
Cool,
Well
boys.
done. Well done. If you could ask the universe for the most awesomest, the most epic, and just the perfect movie, Suicide Squad it is. I feel so fortunate to have witnessed this movie in all its mastery. But this is a little bonus one. Which Suicide Squad are they talking about? If you could
James
ask the
Gunn's.
universe for the most awesomest, most epic, and just perfect movie, this is it.
It's got to be James Gunn, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the Suicide Squad.
I'll go for the original Suicide Squad and it's just some dumb review.
Unfortunately, sense is on the side of the boys because it is James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
Trying to get the
James,
lead.
I'll be honest with you. If I was you, I would have done the same. I'm like, nah, it's a trick. It's a trick. It's a dirty trap. Okay. Just came from the cinema and got this awful feeling in my body. You know that feeling when your girlfriend breaks up with you or you have a big hangover but nothing to eat in the fridge? I have no idea how a movie like this got screened in front of an audience and then approved to hit cinemas worldwide. People don't have any standards anymore, and it just seems like a CGI race for the producers. Stop ruining our beloved childhood heroes while you still can. This movie was awful. 1 out of 10 stars.
Wow.
Would it be any of the ones we've said previously?
They can be repeated,
They
yeah.
can
I'm
be
not trying to do like a checklist. They can be. I'm not even sure if I did repeat them.
Oh,
but-
some of these reviews are like for movies we've already had.
Yes, yeah, they can be. So if we,
Oh.
if we've done, yeah, sorry, I should have mentioned that. I'm not
Ah.
making it that easy for you. No, but in all fairness, some of them I tried to look for good and bad reviews, and they just weren't funny enough or good enough. And I was like, well, there's 2 amazing reviews for this one. Let's see what a 1 star is and a 10 star is for the same film.
Okay. So you've given that away a little bit. So what was the other 10 stuff?
No, what's the film? This is a 1 out of 10 star review. What film do you think it is? Play along at home, by the way.
I think it's original Justice League.
You think it's OG Justice League?
Yeah.
Rikesh?
I'm missing Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Chazza.
Have we had OG? Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, BVS. The
BVS.
first time they came together. Yeah.
It is OG Justice League. Fraser got it again. Fraser, you are smashing this, bro.
I felt that way about Batman v Superman, but you said about the CG. So I thought Justice League. You're cutting out a little bit. Hold on.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Hang on,
I
Sam.
thought Fraser was cutting out.
No, you was.
Am I back?
I think so. Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Am I back? I'm good?
Yeah, you're good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right, we're almost at the end, boys. So, another extreme. 10 out of 10 stars. Why so much hatred? Believe me, that's the most underrated superhero movie of all time. That first fight scene is way better than the whole MCU together.
Come on, boys.
What fight scene in the DCEU is better than the whole MCU put together? Please enlighten me.
Yeah, that scene where Batman's standing there and he sees the Flash running around and he catches him with his eyes. That's the best scene. That's 10 out of 10.
Firstly, that's Superman that sees him, not Batman. That would be impressive.
That would be.
But I see where you're going with this, Rick.
First fight scene. Ooh.
Bum 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 bum.
What had a good fight scene at the beginning?
The Black Adam or something. I'm gonna go for Black Adam.
Oh, that's a good shout.
Bladham.
There is a lot of films we haven't seen as well.
I'll say Aquaman just to split it up a bit.
Aquaman, Black Adam for the rest, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't remember this, so I'm just gonna have to go take their word for it. It's Man of Steel. I think it means when they're on Krypton, right? When it's Russell Crowe as the dad who fights the people?
I don't think so. No, I don't
know.
Because
the planet's just getting destroyed and they send him off.
Yeah.
He said that the whole fight scene was better than the MCU. I don't believe the guy even watched the film. I'm just gonna take it as it is.
The LSD user over there.
All right, next one. 1 out of 10 stars. Downloaded this for free and I still want my money back. Stopped watching after 10 minutes. Might try again in a few days, but glad I didn't see this in the theaters. 1 out of 10 stars. Who deserves a refund, boys?
BVS.
BVS?
Yeah, BVS.
I'm going to go.
It'll be right.
I'm going to go Wonder Woman 1984.
Wonder Woman 1984. Okay, mix it up.
That's a good shout.
Keep in mind, boys, these aren't all films we've watched because this is Birds of Prey.
I've seen Birds of Prey.
Oh, you've seen Birds of Prey? You forgot about it. That's what happened.
Oh, no, that review is still accurate for BBS.
I love some of these reviews. They make me laugh. Okay, 10 out of 10 stars. Better stuff than Black Panther and Ant-Man and the Wasp. An excellent movie, an excellent cinematography. If anyone says that this movie is not a good movie, then he/she is a DC hater and not going to watch this in theaters to enjoy its VFX on big screen and waiting for DVD to be released, then he/she is a fool. I'm reading exactly as they wrote it.
It's a very angry review.
That is angry.
It's 10 out of 10. It's more like immediately like, I know you're going to attack this film. Fuck you. Fuck the guy behind you. And fuck everyone else around him. It's like, all right, dude, just say what you liked about the film. Relax. We get it. It's better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. Cool. What film? Bum, bum.
Shazam.
Bum, bum.
Yeah, I think Shazam could be a good one.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, what else was coming out around then?
I can't even think about when that came out. I'm gonna go Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman, Shazam, and what was the last one?
I'm gonna. Yeah, I think it might be Shazam.
It was Aquaman.
Oh, you fuck! I thought about Aquaman, and then I thought, no, I think that came out later.
But almost there, laddies. Last three. It's clearing the pipes. The best thing to say about this movie is that it would save a teacher a lot of time in leading a class on filmmaking, rather than dredging through hours of film to demonstrate to students what types of characteristic features are most prominent in poorly executed movies. The teacher could simply show this movie and tick every box. 1 out of 10 stars. What film is this?
BBS.
You guys, any level of hate, BBS bullshit. I feel
Honestly,
we called it BBS bullshit for so long.
I'm down for BBS as well.
You're all BBS,
all
yeah? You're all BBS.
Yeah.
This is my personal favorite of hate. This film was Black Adam.
Oh.
Yeah, that took a
bad?
hit. I don't know, bro. 10 out of 10 stars. We're back to the golden stars. By the way, next to these, I put a little a shit emoji and a little star emoji so my eyes would know what's what. And I enjoyed it. So 10 out of 10 stars. I wasn't too enthused when I saw the trailers, but I have to say this is way better than the trailers, honestly. But you're better off not reading any spoilers. I avoided everything written about this movie and was thrilled with the cameos and the pop references. Just let it entertain you. That's what a movie like this is for. I suppose one reason why people aren't flocking to see it is because they're probably tired of superhero movies. I think people were done at Endgame. And to give you some frame of reference to what people are flocking to is Cocaine Bear. I kid you not. I mean, seriously, a beep, beep, beep bear. He's put it all in like different fonts and stuff. So 10 out of 10. And that it gave you a time frame, a lot of reference. So post Endgame, Cocaine Bear, if you actually heard about that's the real film that came out.
That's quite recent. Yeah.
So what's been the most one of the more recent DCEU films?
Flash. It's got to be, right?
I'm thinking The Flash as well.
I'm thinking Shazam.
The second one or the first one?
Second Shazam.
Shazam. Okay, yeah, that would have come out after Endgame.
Yeah, well, definitely after Endgame, but around the same time as Cocaine Bear as well.
Such a weird sentence to say. So Chaz, you're saying Flash?
Yeah.
I'm saying Flash as well, yeah.
You're saying Flash? It is. Well done to Rikesh. It's Shazam too.
Oh.
Yeah. You needed a point, Rick. You really needed a point. And we come to the last one. Crap upon crap upon crap upon crap. Stupid and mediocre story. All the characters are morons. The production is terrible. The effects look like it was taken from a PlayStation and PlayStation 1 game. No respect or coherence with what was done before. All the time it goes for the inane, cheap, dumbass jokes. If you take the worst of Thor 4, Wonder Woman 84, Steel, She-Hulk, and you mix it, that would still be better than this.
Oh, they laid it to She-Hulk.
BBS. PBS.
Wait, you said the reviews could be way later though, right? So they weren't like right after the film was released. So they could have watched this recently and just hate it.
Yes. I will give you this much of a clue to help. I did try to put the review as closely to the time frame of the film's release. Some of the previous ones are a bit more distant, but I've tried to always keep it as close to the release. So I've not done it like it's 10 years later. So what I've told you should give you a little reference.
She-Hulk.
Wonder Woman 84, the Thor: Love and Thunder.
I'm gonna go
Flash.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Flash again.
Either Flash or Black Adam, I reckon, but I'm gonna say Flash. I'll stick with
Flash. Say Black Adam.
Chaz, Flash.
I'll stick with a Flash.
And Fraser, Black Adam.
Yeah.
It's Flash! Yay! Well done, Johnny. Yay!
I got a point.
To sum up at the end of the game, boys, at third place, a very admirable 2.5 points. We have our own Charlie Eastwick.
Fuck this game.
Please, I want friends. And a thing. Oh, actually, no, sorry. At second place is Charlie at 2.5 points because tied in first place is Fraser and Rikesh. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you guys one more review, and this is for Fraser and Rikesh only, and whoever gets this gets the winning point. Charlie, you can join in as well if you want.
Just make it a 5-pointer.
He's just going to say BVS.
What if none of us get it? What happens then?
Then the game ends and we move on. Okay. In all fairness, I've got 3 other reviews as spare. I always have backup. So, for the winning point, the best DC movie so far. What can I say? They have not said yet great movie. I came to this movie overhyped, and I am glad to say it was great and very recommended to everyone. You will not regret it at all. Just a great movie. Run to see it before you get spoilers. I love superheroes like Superman, Batman, and more. Go see it right now. There was no.
Someone had a gun to his head.
There was no punctuation. I'm trying to read it as intended, but that was a lot. That is a 10
That was one of the Warner Brothers.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I'll say Aquaman.
That's a good shout. Because, I mean, it made a load of money, and that sounded like it came from far away.
As my only reasoning is the money that it makes for picking Aquaman.
Frazzle?
I mean, this guy is clearly out of his mind.
Oh.
I'm gonna go Justice League.
Go Shazam.
You go Shazam. You're all wrong. You're all wrong. It's Wonder Woman.
Oh
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Do you want me to? Do you want me to go for the last 2, or do you want me to leave it alone?
No, leave it. I want to win. I'm joking.
I did try to put the best ones at the top, so the rest are just more and more. So
more spelling mistakes.
Yeah, more and more spelling mistakes, less and less coerced. So guys, thank you for tuning in. I know this has been a really long ride, but I think this needed to be said and done because we've never spoken about DCEU, so there was obviously a lot to touch upon
for a reason, because otherwise we just shit on it for 2 hours.
Yeah, this has been predominantly negative. This has been the poopy emoji all over the place. But I think only with you guys I would do it, and I would always love to sit and watch any of these films with you guys and suffer together. And by that I mean watch Rick, but same difference. So thank you for tuning in. I'm going to sign this out. So I have been Sohan.
He has been, and I have been Charlie.
He has been, and I have been Rick.
Oh, we do it.
He was, but I'm still Fraser.
Oh, damn. He flipped it. We won, and we still are. Everyone. Red Jackson.
That's not gonna stick.
Doesn't sound right, but I'm still gonna go with it because we used to use it for our podcast name. Please don't cut me out.
Yeah, that should have.